Have you ever considered how limited our capabilities seem to become after the age of 65? There's a prevailing notion that aging inevitably leads to a slower pace of life, a decline in physical and mental abilities, and a shrinking circle of opportunities. But what if there's a different perspective? What if the ability to perform certain actions in old age signifies belonging to a unique and distinguished group of people? Let's delve into an exploration of 8 remarkable signs indicating exceptional aging. From physical strength to mental acuity, these qualities reveal a profound truth about longevity, disease resistance, and overall health. Don't miss a single detail, as you'll not only discover these rare traits in yourself, but also understand why they are key to a long, healthy, and fulfilling life. The first sign to watch out for is grip strength. This often underestimated but highly indicative factor can reveal a lot about your health. It's not just about how firm your handshake is or how easily you open jars of pickles. Grip strength is a window into your overall physical vitality, reflecting much more than just hand strength. If you're still able to confidently carry heavy grocery bags, haul firewood, or hold a steering wheel for long periods without fatigue, you're in much better shape than you might think. This isn't just a matter of convenience or habit. It's a measurable indicator of your body's resilience, directly linked to muscle mass, neurological health, and even cardiovascular endurance. Numerous studies confirm this relationship. Statistics show that older adults with strong grip strength tend to live longer than their peers, recover faster from illnesses and injuries, and maintain independence in daily life well into old age. Why is this indicator so important? Grip strength is a complex indicator involving not only the hands, but also the forearms, shoulders, and a complex network of nerves connecting the brain to the fingertips. It also reflects the heart's ability to effectively pump blood to these muscles. Weakening grip strength is often one of the first signs of a general decline in the body's condition. Imagine if you can't hold a cup of coffee or open a bottle without significant effort. Everyday life turns into a series of minor frustrations. Moreover, a weakening grip can signal a decrease in muscle mass, a condition known as sarcopenia, which increases vulnerability to falls, fractures, and general fatigue. A strong grip is a sure sign that the body is successfully resisting the relentless march of time. It's evidence of endurance, excellent coordination, and a strong physical foundation that continues to function at full strength. As an example, consider the story of Frank, a 75-year-old retiree who has no intention of succumbing to the ravages of age. He spends his weekends gardening, easily lifting heavy bags of soil, pruning tree branches, and wielding a shovel as if it were an extension of his own hand. His grip still inspires envy in younger people, and his doctor once remarked that Frank's hand strength rivals that of men 2 decades younger. However, for Frank, this isn't just a reason to brag over coffee. It's tangible proof that his musculoskeletal system is functioning at a level that exceeds expectations. Strong hands allow him to confidently hold onto a ladder, easily carry a toolbox, and continue to enjoy his favorite activities, which bring him joy. Moreover, a firm grip is a kind of protection directly related to mobility and freedom of movement, 2 crucial factors for maintaining health in old age. The ability to firmly grasp a railing or hold on when stumbling significantly reduces the risk of falls and, as a result, hospitalization. Thus, if your grip is still strong, it's a compelling signal that your body is aging with remarkable grace and strength, maintaining its functionality and resistance to age-related changes. There is a simple but telling test that can predict a person's future physical condition. It's about the ability to get up from the floor without any help. If an individual can sit on the floor and then stand up without using a chair or other objects for support, without pushing off with their hands, and without resorting to outside assistance, it indicates that they possess a rare and valuable combination of physical qualities. These qualities, which include flexibility, coordination, balance, and core strength, are often lost with age. It's not just about demonstrating the ability to move like you did in your youth. This test is a profound indicator of how successfully a person can maintain their independence and vitality throughout the years. It is essential to consider the practical significance of this skill in daily life. For example, the ability to squat to pick up a dropped item or sit on the floor to play with grandchildren without difficulty. For those who possess this ability, such movements seem natural and effortless. However, for many older adults, getting up from the floor poses a significant challenge, requiring reliance on furniture, accompanied by groaning and strain, and sometimes leading to complete abandonment of the task. If a person can rise from the floor easily and smoothly, it indicates their belonging to an elite group, which is a source of pride. As an example, consider Margaret, an energetic 72-year-old woman who starts her day with light yoga in her living room. She effortlessly transitions from a cross-legged sitting position to standing without the slightest hesitation or instability. The doctor examining her was amazed by her ability to rise from the floor unaided. While most women her age require support to do so, she demonstrated outstanding physical fitness. This ability is not merely the result of training, but an indicator of the harmonious functioning of the entire body. The ability to rise from the floor without using one's hands requires not only strong legs, but also flexible hips, stable ankles, a strong core, and excellent coordination. Research confirms that older adults who struggle with this simple action are twice as likely to experience mobility issues, falls, and premature mortality. Rising from the floor is a comprehensive test for the whole body, demonstrating joint elasticity, muscle strength, and nervous system acuity. The implications of this ability extend beyond physical health. The ability to independently rise from the floor reduces the fear of falling, which often leads to a sedentary lifestyle and accelerates physical decline. This means that the knees and hips remain mobile and functional, reducing the risk of arthritis and stiffness. A person retains the ability to lead an active life, engaging in favorite activities, whether it's gardening, playing with pets, or reading a book on the floor. For Margaret, this means freedom of movement and no fear of getting up from the floor. For others, it may be the confidence to engage in activities that require bending and squatting. If a person can easily cope with this task, it indicates a high resistance of the body and successful aging. Third, the ability to maintain good posture without much effort is an indicator of successful aging. Posture reflects the overall state of the body and its ability to resist age-related changes. A straight back, squared shoulders, and the absence of slouching while walking and sitting indicate that a person is ahead of many of their peers in maintaining physical fitness. Over time, poor posture can lead to weakening of the core muscles, back pain, and even difficulty breathing. However, if a person maintains proper body alignment, it indicates good support of the spine by muscles and joints, which is quite rare among older adults. Posture not only affects appearance, but also plays an important role in mobility, balance, and the functioning of internal organs. Proper spinal alignment ensures full expansion of the lungs, improving oxygen flow and increasing energy levels. Conversely, constant slouching forces the body to work with increased stress, leading to fatigue and discomfort. As an example, consider George, a 74-year-old retired teacher. He still walks confidently, with a straight back and head held high. Thanks to his posture, he looks younger than his years. The doctor once noted that while most men his age face spinal compression or forward tilt, George maintains surprisingly good posture. This is due to his active lifestyle, constant strengthening of the core muscles, and avoidance of habits that lead to slouching. Posture directly affects balance and fall prevention. Poor posture shifts the center of gravity forward, increasing the risk of loss of balance. Straight posture ensures proper weight distribution, reduces stress on joints, and improves stability. If a person is able to maintain a straight posture without discomfort or constant reminders, it is a sign that their body is aging with strength and resilience. The fourth sign, a person can easily get up from a chair without using their hands. At first glance, the ability to stand up from a chair without support may seem trivial. However, this simple action is an eloquent testament to physical strength, mobility, and independence. For many, especially those over 65, this ability gradually diminishes due to declining lower body strength, joint flexibility, and balance. If a person can rise smoothly and confidently from a seated position, whether it's a soft armchair, a dining room chair, or the driver's seat of a car, without pushing off with their hands or grabbing the armrests for support, it's a clear indication that their body is in excellent condition. Their legs, core muscles, and sense of balance are working in harmony, allowing them to maintain a level of physical fitness that many of their peers can only envy. It's worth considering how often this movement is performed in daily life. Getting up after watching a show on the couch, rising after a meal at the kitchen table, or exiting a low-slung car. These transitions occur multiple times a day, and each time requires a combination of quadriceps strength, glute activation, core stability, and fine-tuned coordination to maintain balance. When this ability begins to wane, it's often one of the earliest warning signs of muscle loss, joint stiffness, or even declining neurological function. Those who struggle may find themselves rocking back and forth to gain momentum, relying heavily on their arms for leverage, or even avoiding low seats altogether for fear of not being able to get up. But if a person can still perform this feat with grace and ease, they demonstrate a rare and valuable physical prowess. Consider the story of Linda, a vibrant 72-year-old woman surrounded by the love of her 5 grandchildren. Until recently, she hadn't given much thought to her ability to rise effortlessly from a chair. However, while attending a birthday celebration for a longtime friend, she noticed how many of her peers struggled noticeably to get up. Some clutched frantically at the armrests, others needed the support of their spouses, and some preferred to remain seated longer than they wanted to avoid displaying their helplessness. A few weeks later, at a lively family gathering, her 10-year-old grandson jokingly challenged her to stand up from the floor without using her hands, an even more challenging task than rising from a chair. To everyone's surprise and her own delight, Linda effortlessly completed the task. It turned out that her years of habits, regular walks, light stretching, and occasional strength exercises had paid off in ways she hadn't even realized. This small victory became not just a fun game, but a true testament to her robust physical health. But why does this seemingly simple skill matter so much? Scientific research confirms its importance. Studies show that older adults who can rise independently from a seated position tend to live longer and maintain their independence for a longer period of time. This ability is indicative of sufficient leg and core strength, necessary hip and knee flexibility, and a stable sense of balance to avoid falls. All of these factors play a crucial role in preventing falls, a leading cause of injury and loss of independence among older adults. If a person can still perform this action without thinking, it's worth taking a moment to appreciate what their body is achieving. It's not just about getting up from a chair, but about maintaining a level of functionality that becomes increasingly rare with age, a quiet sign of resilience that many only notice when it's already lost. The ability to balance on one leg for more than 10 seconds is an important indicator of physical health, often underestimated until it begins to decline. The ability to maintain balance without swaying or needing support demonstrates good physical fitness and neurological coordination. This skill is not just a party trick, but a reliable indicator of how well the body and brain are working together. Impaired balance is a significant risk factor for older adults, increasing the likelihood of falls and fractures, as well as reducing life expectancy. Successfully passing this test indicates that a person's body is effectively resisting the aging process. To assess your own capabilities, stand up straight, fix your gaze on a point on the wall, and lift one foot a few inches off the ground. Keep time by saying 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, and so on, up to 10. If you can perform this exercise without wobbling or putting your foot down, you can congratulate yourself on the excellent condition of your leg muscles, core stability, and harmonious nervous system function. However, if you experience wobbling, like a tightrope walker in the wind, or your foot lowers after a few seconds, and you have an instinctive urge to grab a chair for support, it may be a sign that you need to improve your balance and strength. It is important to note that balance is a skill that can be developed with training. For example, consider the story of Frank, a 77-year-old retired carpenter who, in his youth, easily carried heavy loads and climbed ladders. As he aged, he began to notice signs of declining balance, such as instability on uneven surfaces and hesitation before stepping off a curb. During a medical checkup, his doctor suggested he take a balance test by standing on one leg. Frank tried, but could only hold it for 5 seconds. This became his call to action. He began incorporating simple balance exercises into his daily routine, walking down the hallway, placing the heel of one foot to the toe of the other, standing on one leg while brushing his teeth, and practicing near a table for support. After a few months, Frank was able to stand on one leg for more than 15 seconds, a significant achievement and evidence of his progress. So, why is maintaining balance so important? It's not just about being able to keep your body upright. First and foremost, it's about protecting yourself from falls, which, according to healthcare professionals, are one of the main threats to the independence of older adults. Falls are a leading cause of serious injuries in old age, leading to a range of complications that negatively impact quality of life. The ability to stand on one leg is not just a demonstration of muscle strength. It is an indicator of the coordinated work of the brain, nervous system, and joints. Worsening of this skill can be an early sign of decreased strength, coordination, and even cognitive function. However, if a person can easily cope with this exercise, it indicates their ability to resist not only gravity, but also age-related changes. Therefore, it is worth testing your strength and raising one leg, trying to hold this position for at least 10 seconds. If you can do this without difficulty, it indicates good body stability. It is important to protect and develop this skill, as it can be the key to an active and independent life for many years to come. Number 6 on the list of long-lived people's abilities is the ability to get up from the floor without using your hands. It would seem that such a simple movement as lowering to the floor and rising is a serious test of physical fitness and can tell a lot about a person's strength, flexibility, balance, and overall mobility. Those who can perform this maneuver smoothly, without tension, groaning, and using their hands or knees, fall into an exclusive group of people who, according to statistics, are more likely to live a long life and maintain independence until old age. This ability is the result of the coordinated work of various physical qualities: powerful leg muscles that lift the body weight, a strong core that stabilizes the torso, flexible joints that provide a full range of motion, and clear coordination that unites all these elements. With age, these qualities often weaken, turning a once easy task into a real test, or even making it impossible without outside help. However, if a person is still able to perform this movement with ease, this is a clear sign of the excellent condition of their body. For example, consider the story of Joan, an energetic 72-year-old woman who has led an active lifestyle for decades, gardening, dancing, and playing with her grandchildren. One day, during a lively game of building blocks with her youngest grandson on the living room carpet, she realized that she had easily gotten to her feet without leaning her hands on the floor or furniture. This smooth movement was as natural to her as breathing. Later, she told her doctor about it during an examination, and he expressed his admiration. The doctor explained that her ability to get up without assistance is a powerful indicator of her physical health, indicating strong quadriceps and gluteal muscles, flexible hips and knees, as well as an excellent sense of balance. Research confirms this point of view. Scientific studies show that older people who have difficulty getting up from the floor without support are at a significantly higher risk of falls, loss of mobility, and even premature death. The reason is obvious. Difficulty with this task often indicates a decrease in muscle mass, sarcopenia, weakening stability, and worsening overall physical fitness. Conversely, those who are still able to do this effortlessly tend to stay active, avoid injuries, and live independently until 80, 90 years, and even longer. Are you ready to take this test? Find an open space and lower yourself into a seated position on the floor in any way that's comfortable for you. Then, try to stand up without using your hands or knees for support. If you rise with little effort, congratulations, you're in the rare and enviable category of older adults with outstanding physical capabilities. If you find it difficult, don't despair. It's a skill that can be developed with practice. Start by strengthening your core with exercises like planks, increasing leg strength with squats, and improving flexibility with stretches for your hips and ankles. Over time, you'll feel stronger, more agile, and more confident in your body's capabilities. Whether it comes easily or requires effort, this test is a snapshot of your vitality and a reminder that it's never too late to keep moving, growing, and thriving. Relentlessly strive to create informative and inspiring content, as it is the key to enlightening and motivating the audience. The seventh sign of excellent physical fitness is the ability to carry groceries with ease. If lifting bags of groceries from the car into the house or tackling a flight of stairs doesn't leave you drenched in sweat and feeling like you've run a marathon, it's a sign of excellent fitness, especially compared to most of your peers. This ordinary task is a powerful indicator of overall physical health. Carrying groceries isn't just about individual muscles. It's a complex coordination of grip strength, upper body endurance, core stability, and lower body support. Research confirms this connection. In particular, studies published in the Journal of Gerontology demonstrate that grip strength, a key factor in lifting and holding heavy objects, is a reliable predictor of longevity and resilience to age-related changes. When carrying a heavy bag of groceries, your hands grip tightly, requiring forearm and finger strength that's not susceptible to weakness or arthritis. The shoulders and upper back stabilize the weight, confirming healthy joints and good posture. The core actively engages to maintain balance, while the legs provide the support to move without stumbling. It's not just about showing off muscle strength. It's an indicator of overall health. It's evidence that your bone structure is successfully resisting osteoporosis, your nervous system is still effectively coordinating movements, and your cardiovascular system is easily handling physical exertion without causing shortness of breath. All of these functions, unfortunately, naturally weaken with age, often starting to show as early as your 50s and 60s. Therefore, if a person can easily handle such tasks in their later years, it's a clear sign that their body is still functioning remarkably well. As an example, consider the story of Walter, a 74-year-old retired teacher from Ohio. This man never particularly thought about his physical fitness until an ordinary trip to the grocery store became an eye-opener. While loading bags of canned goods, vegetables, and milk into his car, he noticed something interesting. Men in their 40s and 50s nearby were struggling and visibly straining to do the same, their faces showing effort. One young man in his 30s even approached Walter with an offer to help, mistakenly assuming the older man was having difficulty. Walter smiled and waved him off, saying, "Thank you, but I've been carrying groceries since before you were born. No need to stop now." This thought stuck with him. He later reflected on how years of active living, gardening, regular walks, and occasional strength training in his garage had subtly given him an advantage over his peers. He didn't feel the burden of age, and his physical condition was compelling evidence of that. Medical professionals often emphasize functional strength as a crucial indicator of overall health. Decreased grip strength or difficulty lifting everyday objects can be an early warning sign of serious problems, such as sarcopenia, age-related muscle loss, increased bone fragility, or even neurological disorders. These ailments develop gradually and imperceptibly, but over time can lead to a state of physical weakness, where even basic actions become an insurmountable task. In contrast, if a person can easily carry heavy bags of groceries, they are in a privileged group of older adults who have maintained their physical independence. And the benefits don't stop there. The newfound strength allows you to effortlessly carry laundry baskets, move furniture, and even help friends and relatives, all of which contributes to active participation in life and prevents isolation due to physical limitations. If you notice the first signs of fading physical capabilities, whether it's a treacherous tremor in your hands or a nagging back pain after a short trip, don't despair. The situation can still be reversed. Physical strength is not an immutable gift, but a skill that can be developed and maintained. Implementing simple but effective habits, such as regular exercises with a hand strengthener to improve grip, exercises with light dumbbells, or even carrying a small bag during daily walks, will help keep your muscles and joints toned. The key factor for success is consistency. If performing these actions does not cause any difficulties, it is a sure sign of victory over the relentless aging process and belonging to the small group of elderly people who can easily cope with everyday physical tasks. Another important indicator is the ability to easily lower yourself to the floor and get back up without assistance. This simple test of vitality speaks volumes. If a person can sit on the floor to play with grandchildren or pick up a dropped item and then stand up without leaning on furniture or outside help, it demonstrates a significant advantage. This is not just an acrobatic trick, but one of the most reliable indicators of long-term mobility, independence, and overall health. For most people over 65, this elementary movement turns into a serious test and sometimes becomes impossible altogether. Getting up from the floor without assistance is a task that requires the coordinated work of various physical qualities. It requires lower limb strength to provide the upward thrust, flexibility of the hip and knee joints to perform flexion and extension, a strong core to stabilize the body, and finally, a sense of balance to avoid falling. If a person retains this ability, they are in a privileged position, as scientific studies indicate a link between this skill and a longer, healthier life. As an example, consider the story of 80-year-old Emma from Texas. One day, engrossed in playing with her grandchildren, she sat on the living room carpet, eagerly building a Lego tower. At the end of the game, without the slightest hesitation, she placed one foot on the floor, leaned her hands on the carpet to create a small lever, and smoothly rose, as if nothing had happened, only slightly brushing off her jeans. Her daughter, who was watching from the sofa, was amazed. She exclaimed that she knew people 2 or 3 decades younger who would need the help of a crane for such a lift. Emma just shrugged, unaware that her natural movement was a testament to her excellent physical shape. Over the years, she had led an active lifestyle, gardening, doing yoga, and playing with children, which kept her body toned and flexible. However, she did not realize how exceptional her ability was until that very moment. In the medical community, this issue is taken very seriously. There is even a standardized assessment method known as the Costin test, which is actively used by doctors and researchers to determine a person's functional status and predict the likelihood of death. In one significant study published in the European Journal of Preventive Cardiology, it was found that older people who have difficulty getting up from a sitting position on the floor or are completely unable to do so are at a significantly increased risk of fractures and progressive health deterioration. The reason for this phenomenon is quite obvious. The process of standing up and lowering oneself involves not only the muscular system, but also represents a complex challenge for the entire body, reflecting the health of the joints, coordination of movements, and functioning of the nervous system. If a person is able to perform this exercise without assistance, it indicates not only the absence of frailty, but also the body's ability to cope with unexpected demands that arise in everyday life, whether it's dodging spilled liquid or regaining balance after tripping. This circumstance is more important than it may seem at first glance. Falls are one of the main causes of injuries and even fatalities among older people, and the danger lies not so much in the fall itself as in the ability to get up independently. Older people who lack the physical strength or balance to recover often find themselves helpless, prone to complications such as dehydration or bed sores, if timely assistance is not provided. However, if a person retains the ability to confidently move up and down, it can be seen as a kind of superpower, indicating that their body possesses resilience, adaptability, and readiness to support their independence. Emma's life path, who managed to preserve this valuable skill, is not exceptional, but it is not common in the modern world, where physical inactivity and age-related changes gradually deprive most people of this ability. To maintain or regain a lost skill, systematic practice and perseverance are necessary. Incorporating simple exercises into your daily routine, such as bodyweight squats, lunges, or repeated chair stands, helps strengthen muscles and improve coordination. Core strengthening exercises, such as planks and leg raises, strengthen the abdominal and back muscles, while stretching maintains the flexibility needed for freedom of movement. If getting up from a chair is currently difficult, it is recommended to start small, using a pillow or a sturdy chair as support. As muscles strengthen, dependence on support should gradually decrease. The essence of this skill is that it must be constantly used, otherwise it will be lost. Continuous movement is the key to maintaining this ability. If this skill is preserved naturally, it is worth taking a moment to recognize its value. This indicates not only outpacing age-related changes, but also belonging to a select group of older adults whose bodies retain the mobility of a younger age. This is a cause for pride and joy. In conclusion of this video, it is worth taking some time to reflect on those 8 unique abilities that indicate an exceptionally successful aging process. If these skills are still easy to perform, then this is a sure sign of belonging to a select circle of people who have managed to maintain physical strength, flexibility, and mental clarity over many years, contrary to common expectations. Aging should not be seen as a period of inevitable loss. Rather, it is a time of adaptation, preservation of what has been achieved, and discovery of new opportunities for a fulfilling